Welcome to History TV with your hosts Hannah, Kelly, and Megan.
Today on Russian Roulette. Today, the iconic political leader Leonid Brezhnev became the president of Soviet Russia after removing Khrushchev from office. However, he still remains an active part of the Soviet Communist Party, being the first secretary in command. It is known that he used this strategy to overthrow Khrushchev while he was on vacation. It has been announced that Alexander Solzhenitsyn of Russia has been awarded with the Nobel Prize of Literature. He is famous for his criticism of the Soviet government as well as the Stalinist prison camps, where President Stalin forced labor camps on political prisoners. Hi, I'm Hannah Sheldon. Welcome to another edition of Russian Roulette. Today, the newly elected president wastes no time in releasing a new policy. This policy, known as Perestroika, will help ensure the country's political and economic balance due to its influence by the government. Private ownership will now be allowed, and control of the industry and agriculture has now been decentralized from the government.
Ethnic cleaning.
This morning, the president of Russia, Mikhail Gorbachev, released another policy called the Glasnost Policy, which is also known as the Policy of Openness. This now allows citizens to speak out against the government and criticize its leaders without being arrested or targeted. Kelly is live out on the streets. Let's take a look.
We're here live talking to an everyday citizen about the new policy. What do you think about Gorbachev's new policy?
Oh, I love his new policy. I love how I can freely voice my opinions about my government without getting threatened.
Well, there you go. Back to you in the studio, Hannah. I'm Kelly Johnson, reporting for Russian Roulette News.
Thanks, Kelly, for that report. This, along with previous announced policies, the Perestroika, will definitely go down in the history books for being the most influential and altering policies that Russia has experienced for at least a few decades. The presidency of Gorbachev has brought the bipolar world to an end. This is Hannah Sheldon, reporting from Russian Roulette.
Kosovo.
Welcome to East Europe Broadcasting. I'm Kelly Johnson. Today we've been talking a lot about the Soviet Union's demise. Eastern Europe is important for forcing change on the Soviet Union. On August 31st, 1980, protests by Polish shipyard workers emerged under the leadership of Lech Walesa. The Polish government imposed law this year in response to the great power of solidarity, giving military complete power. Here today, we're with the co-founder of Solidarity, Lech Walesa. Hello, Mr. Walesa.
Hello, Kelly.
Now, Lech, why did the trade union emerge?
The trade union emerged to challenge the Communist Party.
The comprehensiveness of the changes with communism began when you became president. Why do you think this is?
I am a symbol for political struggle which led to the collapse of the Soviet Union. Bummer.
Charismatic leader, Polish politician, and human rights activist. Thank you, Mr. Walesa.
Thank you, Kelly.
Joseph Mobutu.
patrilineal of the week is Taylor Wojtyla, also known as John Pope II. He became the Pope of the Catholic Church in 1978. The Catholic Church of Poland supported the trade union Solidarity, while Protestant and Orthodox religious leaders aided the opposing groups. John Paul II aided Poland in ending communism. A newsflash tonight: tanks are surrounding Moscow, as the 1991 Soviet coup, also known as the August coup, was an attempt by a group of members of the Soviet Union's government to take control of the country from Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev. On August 19, 1991, a group of Republican leaders were due to sign the new Union Treaty. A group calling itself the State Assembly Committee attempted to seize power in Moscow. Gorbachev was holidaying when the coup began. Gorbachev was removed from power. Hello again. Boris Yeltsin, leader of the popular resistance of the August coup, becomes the president of Russia. He is now the first popularly elected leader in the country's history. He says his goal is to reform the newly capitalist and democratic country. That is it for tonight. I'm Kelly Johnson from East Europe Broadcasting. Thank you and good night.
Good evening and welcome to the Cape Cod News. Today is August 2nd, 1994.
In our first story, apartheid, the system of racial segregation which has been enforced throughout South Africa by the National Party government, has finally come to an end after almost 50 years of brutal racial segregation.
The longtime political prisoner Nelson Mandela and his African National Congress won the first national election this week, which brought a sudden change to the country. CCN is going live to President Mandela now. Congratulations on your win in the election, President Mandela.
Thank you, Hannah.
So tell our viewers a little bit more about the election.
Well, after the recent abolishment of apartheid, Black Africans, which make up a majority of the South African population, gained the right to vote. The African National Congress, after years of struggle, finally won the first national election.
Thank you, President Mandela. Mandela spent 27 years in prison trying to end the apartheid in South Africa.
This must have been a momentous occasion for him, wasn't it?
I'm sure it is.
In other news, a mass murder has occurred in Central Africa country of Rwanda. This massive genocide occurred over the course of approximately 100 days, from April through mid-July. The estimated death toll has ranged from anywhere between 500,000 to 1 million people, or as much as 20% of Rwanda's total population.
The reasoning behind this genocide is seen to be the culmination of long-standing ethnic competition and tensions between the majority Tutsi and the majority Hutu peoples.
Today marks the 4th anniversary of the beginning of the conflicts in the Persian Gulf Coast in 1990. The original cause of these conflicts was Iraq's ruler Saddam Hussein had borrowed a great deal of money from its neighbor Kuwait, and had sought unsuccessfully to get Kuwait's royal family to reduce the size of this debt. Therefore, Iraq attacked Kuwait and tried to gain control of its oil fields. The United States got involved in early 1991 by bombing military targets in Iraq, trying to get them out of Kuwait, which was found successful. Hopefully this past conflict won't lead to any further conflicts in this Middle Eastern region.
Thank you, Megan. Now for the 7-day forecast. Over to you, Fred. Bloopers!
No, start over.
Oh, no.
When she gives you the knock. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
This is Hannah reporting from...
Alright, well, sorry.
Okay, no, just keep going. Amanda?
Wait, what? Oh my gosh!
I can't say these names. Okay. Hutu? Tutsi? Tutsi and the majority.
Oh, dang! Okay. Ah, it's on.
Tutsi. Okay.
Okay, stop it right now.
Thanks for tuning in.